Hello YouTube, this is Red Fox. This video is about a small booklet published by Mantic Games. It's called the Mantic Journal. It's the Mantic Games version of the better known White Dwarf magazine published by Games Workshop. This magazine is about miniature wargaming, model painting, and fantasy fluff that creates the setting of the game. White Dwarf is sold at my local game store for $9 US. Mantic Journal has a retail price of $3.75, which is less than half as much. If you look at Mantic Journal, you'll immediately see why they have a lower price. Here, take a look at this. Mantic Journal is much smaller than a typical magazine. White Dwarf is the size of any typical magazine such as Time or Sports Illustrated, and here's the size of the Mantic Journal in comparison. White Dwarf typically has something like 110 to 120 pages of content. Mantic has between 40 and 50 pages, and the pages are of course much smaller. I have a copy of the first issue of Mantic Journal here. You can't buy this any longer from the Mantic Games website because this issue has sold out. I got mine from the warstore.com. Interested viewers could check that site or other sites like eBay, for example. The first couple of pages have the table of contents and also a welcome note by Guy Haley, the editor. He talks about the Mantic message, which is that there is nothing more fun than collecting, modeling, and painting toy soldiers than arraying massed armies of them on the war games table and waging war against your friends. How do you like that? The first article is the World of Mantic right here. This article says that the mission of Mantic is to bring large armies of great quality, affordable models to wargamers everywhere. Next, there's a piece called The Time of War. This is a bit of fluff about the Kings of War fantasy world. Here we have this article titled Kingdoms of the Elves. There are color pictures of 7 different types of elf units with brief descriptions for each unit. Then we have this similar article featuring the undead called From the Grave. Half a dozen types of units are in photos with captions. There's a special note in the corner of the page saying you can get a Mhorgoth the Faceless model for half price from the Mantic web store if you quote their special code. Yeah, this is it right here. You may not be able to read the code, but the code is MHOR001 exclamation mark. Now, I'll include that code in the description of this video. I don't know if the offer is still valid, but I'll put the code in. Next, there is this bit called The Plane of Bone. This is a fluff story about a battle between Mhorgoth's undead army and a collection of elves following High Marshal Lotharion. There's a page about the vampire lord Malek of Dol Aragos, which is right here. There he is on his undead Pegasus. And then on the next page, you have Tydarion the Dragon Lord. I found the writing to be interesting for that article. moving on, we have an article with the title, The Road to War. This is just a hobby article. It has instructions and advice for cleaning and assembling models. There's also an extremely detailed description of what bits are contained in a Mantic Elven Spearman regiment. They have photos and description for practically every single thing on the sprue. It's very thorough, and there are a lot of optional extra bits. At the end, there's a single Mantic point right here. You can collect it and use it with other points to get a free model later. There are 5 pages of advertisements for Mantic products. Elves are here, and then some undead, elves and undead, and then on this last page here we have advertisements for the Mantic paint sets. The last page advertises the next issue, which features the dwarves. So that's the overview of what's in this booklet or magazine. I think it was worth the few dollars I paid for it. There's neat stuff here. Alright, take care. Good night.